Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So as you've seen from the title, we are going to be doing a how much can I read in a week as a pre-PA student and someone who works 12-hour shifts. As of now, it is Wednesday, so we're gonna do Wednesday to Wednesday. I was gonna start on a Sunday, but then Sunday got busy. Monday I worked, and then Tuesday had my shadowing hours that I had to do, so that kind of pushed me back. And then there were soccer games going on also, so I read a little bit, but I didn't want to really vlog it that much. So right now I am reading Lock Every Door, I think. I don't have the book with me, but I've been mostly reading, been listening to it. I'm not really into it. I'm almost done, literally. I think I have like less than 100 pages left, so I'm trying to get that done today, and then we will talk about it. Oh, it's kind of a little bit cheating. I didn't really start off with that book, but I will talk about that book and not count it towards this video, I guess. I'm in the car because I need to get these nails done. These nails are disgusting. They're so grown out, and then this one's like lifting, so every single time I do my hair gets stuck in it, and it's a pain. So we're gonna get that done. We're gonna go to a bookstore. We're gonna go to Books a Million. Or unfortunately, we don't have a Barnes & Noble here, which is a pain in the butt, but that's okay. So we'll do that, and then I have to restock on a couple of my things, food-wise, like my protein powder I ran out of, my creatine, all that fun stuff. So I gotta restock on that as well. But we're gonna get these nails done first, and then we will go to the bookstore. Might vlog in there, might not, just because I live in a small town. Everyone knows everybody, and I'm not trying to whip out a whole camera. I am vlogging right now on my phone. I left my camera in my room, so I was supposed to bring in and vlog at least my intro there, but we'll see. Right now, I made myself a little iced coffee, and it's so yummy. I was gonna get myself a matcha, but last week I spent like so much money on matcha last week, so I decided to make my own iced coffee. But let's go get these nails done, and I will see you then. I'll show you what they look like, but this is like the before. They're like disgusting. The hair is a little messy, but let's ignore it. It is a few minutes, not a few minutes, that's a lie. It is a few hours after I talked to you guys in the car, and I got my nails done. Look how cute. Is it focused? Oh, it's like a orange kind of chrome, I guess you could say. It looks different in person, but it's really cute. I actually do like it. Originally I was gonna do like a orange coral color, but the color I chose, because you know, I feel like it's never the same when you put it on your nails compared to like the little samples or like the choices that they give you or where they paint it. So the orange ended up being like a little lighter color, and I didn't really like how it looked on my like, I don't know if it was my skin tone or just what exactly. So then I asked if he could add maybe some chrome, which he did, and to like one finger to see if I would like it, and I did like it. So I think it's cute. But getting into, so I'm going to talk about first the book I'm reading right now, and then the stack of books that I want to get through this week. Obviously I'm not going to get through all of them just because I have work and all that fun stuff to do. But I also did go to Books a Million. I filmed like literally one little clip, which I will add, but it was kind of busy and I didn't want to pull up my camera, not my camera, but my phone and start vlogging. Anyways, so this is the book I'm currently reading, like I mentioned. Lock Every Door, that's what it's called, by Riley Sager. I think that's how you say his name. I literally just have that much left. We're on page 51. Now, I have been also listening to the audiobook and reading it. And so according to the audiobook, I have 26 minutes left, which I am going to try to literally finish today. But this book is basically about the main character. What's her name? I forget her name again. Jules. This is the main character in here. Her name is Jules. She basically goes through a whole breakup. She finds out her boyfriend was cheating on her, and so she moves out. She has no money or anything. She lost her job, so she sees, I think, this ad basically saying that they need an apartment watcher, or an apartment, what do they call it? Someone to apartment sit for this like huge hotel or this huge, like, not hotel, what is it called, this huge building where famous people live and whatnot. So she does it for a whole bunch of money. She's like, that's so easy, I can do it, I need the money, and I'm literally just taking care of an apartment, that's it. So she does that, she gets hired. There's obviously like a whole like little plot twist, or I thought this was a horror book, but I think it's more of a thriller mystery. But the reason why I've been listening mostly to it is just because it's not my favorite. It's not like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what's happening, like I want to know what's gonna happen kind of thing. It was kind of more of, I feel like, a slow burn, slow paced. I'm feeling more of a my hair is like throwing I'm feeling more of like a 2-star right now. So bad. I was gonna do it at 3. I was gonna give it 3 stars, but I think it's just gonna go down to a 2. I just wasn't really into it. I'm not really interested in it. I feel like I'm forcing myself to finish it. So I don't know, it's just not my favorite. But anyways, going back, like I was saying, like basically this apartment is supposedly haunted, is what I thought it was, and I think it kind of gives that off at the beginning, and then you really find out what the whole like story is. Obviously I don't want to spoil it, but it's not one of my favorites. So it's looking like a 2-star right now, but I just wanted to finish it because the last Books A Million trip I got this book, and Phoebe Berman's gonna lose it, so I just wanted to finish it and try this out. There's another one by him that I do want to read. It was some like lake one, if I can remember. I'll put it on the screen, or I'll like put the picture of it. And I was in between that and this other book I got instead, A Books A Million. So I'll probably go back and read it sometime later, see. But that's it so far. We're gonna finish this today and count that for our first book. Like I said, it's a little cheating, but I'm just gonna count it that I finished it. To be honest, no, because I've been reading it since Sunday. So technically it's not cheating. Anywho, we're finishing this tonight. Now, getting into the books that I bought at Books A Million. I bought myself 3 books. I have been limiting myself to 2 books only, but I could not pick. I could not literally choose. So the first book, originally my last trip, I wanted to get this book, Into the Blue by Emma Brody, and I didn't see it anywhere there. So I didn't end up getting it. But this book, I was like, hopefully they have, this trip at Books A Million, I was like, hopefully they have it, and they did, and I'm so freaking happy about it. A co-worker said she was gonna lend it to me after I was done reading this other book, which I'm gonna talk about right now. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll let you know like when, so I could, after I finish this one book. I really wanted one of my own, just because I just heard it's so good, and if I want to annotate it, I'll probably annotate it and do all that fun stuff. I have not heard a single bad thing about this, and I hope, because my expectations are so high for this, I hope I don't get disappointed. I would be so sad if I get disappointed. But I don't know. I feel like everyone's heard about this book. Basically, I'll read. It says, summer of 2000, AJ Graves dreams of writing for Saturday Night Live. Instead, she's stuck working in a video rental store with slim odds of escaping her small Massachusetts town. Then in walks Noah Drew, the enigmatic and intense. Okay, I'm not gonna even read this, but from my understanding, it is basically a love story between obviously these two. They meet when they're young, I think in high school. Something happens, they lose connection, and then they meet again. They reconnect back, I think, later in their 30s, and then it's kind of their like love story in a way. How they started as friends, and then I guess crushing each other. Something happens between that gap of being teenagers and being in their 30s. Like, it just sounds good. The one thing about this is that there's no chapters, there's parts to it, so it's gonna be hard for me to probably stop in the middle of something. I don't know. I'm just excited to read this. I feel like everyone's heard about this anyways, and it is highly rated. So this is one of the books I bought. The other book I bought was The Road to Tender Hearts by Annie Hartnett. This is the second book I bought. I actually don't think I've heard much about this book. I saw one of my co-workers on Goodreads rate it, and she really liked it. based off her review that I saw. And I wasn't gonna read it, but then I was like, oh, I saw it when I walked in. I saw the book and I was like, oh, this is the one book that her name's Rachel read. So I like read the summary of it and it sounds so interesting. It actually like, so I'm gonna read it. It says, at 63 years old, $1 million lottery winner PJ Halliday, or yeah, Halliday, PJ whatever, would be the luckiest man in Pondville, Massachusetts if it weren't for the tragedies of his life, the sudden death of his eldest daughter, and the way his marriage fell apart after that. Since then, PJ spends both his money and his time at the bar, and he probably doesn't have much time left. He's had 3 heart attacks already, but when PJ reads the obituary of his old romantic rival, he realizes his high school sweetheart, Michelle Cobb, is finally single again. He immediately decides he's going to drive across the country to the Tender Hearts retirement community in Arizona to win Michelle back. Before PJ can hit the road, tragedy strikes, leaving PJ the sudden guardian of his estranged brother's grandchildren. Anyone else would be deterred from the planned trip but PJ figures the orphan kids might benefit from getting out of town. PJ also thinks that he can ask Sophie, his daughter, who's adrift in her 20s, to come along to babysit. And there's one more surprise addition to the roster: Pancakes and Orange Tabby, who recently turned up outside PJ's home. This could be the second chance PJ has long hoped for a fresh shot in love and parenting. But does he have the strength to do both things again? It's very possible his heart can't take it. It just sounds so good and cute, and I don't know, but I'm excited. So I'm literally going in this blind. Besides, just from the summary in the back, I have not heard any reviews on TikTok, on YouTube, or anything about this book. So we shall see how this goes. This is another one on the list that we're adding. And then the third book, final book I bought at Books A Million today, is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. So Sarah Caroli, I think is her last name, read this in one of her reading vlogs, and it sounded so interesting to me. I don't think she rated it pretty high. She was like iffy about it. I think she said it was like bingeable, but it just sounded so good. So it's basically it says, a tale of family shatters in a single night when 2 teenage siblings are found dead in their own home. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and accusations that he was the one who killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Domont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she is the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know, though, is that this project is another one of his lies, because it's not another horror novel he wants her to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. So it just sounds interesting, and I think also it has pretty interesting sprayed edges, which I didn't really like because it kind of freaks me out a bit. I don't know. It's kind of interesting and fun, but besides the point. So I think we get snippets of, I believe, past time. So we get the daughter's point of view, writing basically, and then we go back in time to, who's it, the father? I think it's Vincent, who supposedly killed his siblings or family, and to see what actually really happened. So I'm kind of like intrigued by that, and it sounds interesting. So I'm pretty excited. I think it's only, how much? It's only like 300 some pages. So this is our third book. So those are the 3 books I bought from Books A Million today. Now, this is adding to that stack that books that I possibly want to read this week is Yesteryear, another popular book also. This is another coworker that lent me this book. This one, a lot of people also probably have heard about this, is basically about a trad wife that she's an influencer and claims that she is a trad wife, basically does everything at home, is a great mother, yada yada yada, behind screens. But then in person, or in reality, she is the quite opposite. And she actually goes back in time, I think, when is it? I think it says 1855? Back to the 1800s, I believe. She goes back to the 1800s and actually experiences that life. So I guess we kind of find out how she really does actually living in that era, since she portrays this
whole like Chad wife thing. Or no, what is it called? Not Chad wife. I'm so saying that wrong. Trad wife. What the fuck is a Chad wife? So I'm kind of interested. I think this is gonna be our next read after I finish Lock Every Door, just because I have to get this book back and I feel bad just keeping it. So there's that. This is our stack. That is our stack for this week's vlog, and we shall see how much we get done. It is right 6:13 on the clock. I will probably start getting ready to go to the gym at 7, so I'm going to read until then. I'll probably finish the audiobook, honestly, to finish off, because I honestly don't know. Finish reading the audiobook while I scroll or do something.
I am, for lack of a better word, in shambles. My legs tingle from disuse. The back of my hand is bleeding from when I plucked out the IV. Now standing on these weak, wobbling legs, I take a step. And that people who on the outside are so useless that they must be replaced. You think that what we do.
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Actually, if I'm being honest, it's not morning. It's 12:15 right now. I worked yesterday, and I work 12-hour shifts because I work at a hospital. And normally after my 12-hour shifts, I head straight to the gym, do my workout, and I don't get home till like between 9:30 and 10, just because I lift, I do core, and then I do cardio. So that normally takes like 2 hours of my gym time, which I have no complaints. The gym is literally my favorite. I could probably be there for 5 hours and still be happy. Also, my hair, washed it yesterday and it is air dried. Kind of slept on it kind of damp, so when I sleep on it damp, it's a little crazy. So let's pretend it's styled. It's not. I just ran a brush through it this morning and that's it. I did my face to look a little presentable because I quite literally look fucking scared in the mornings because I have the worst dark circles in my freaking life. But I am still wearing my pajamas. Normally a day after work, or a day after, I will take it slow unless I have to do something. Anywho, I do want to talk about, wait, hold on. I finished Lock Every Door on Wednesday when I filmed my intro. Yes, I think that's when it was. Filming this whole like how much can I read in a week vlog is gonna be torturing because I just lose like days and whatnot with like work and school and all that. You know, summer's not the same once you're a college student, which kind of sucks because I was thinking about it one of these days and I was like, back in middle school and high school when I was in summer, literally could do anything. Now I can't with internships and work and gym, which gym is not an issue. Gym is literally what has me, it has something going for me basically. I love the gym. That's something I will not skip ever in my life unless I really need to. Okay, so going back to the book, I finished this book on Wednesday. I literally want to say I read probably I read 10% of the physical copy and then 90% I listened to the audiobook. Just because I was trying to finish it, I think we talked about it a little bit, and I did not really like it. Kind of disappointed, just because I saw Steph Bohr, I think that's how you say her last name. I watched her 24-hour reading vlog and she read this book in her reading vlog, and her reaction just had me intrigued, and I was like, wait, this kind of sounds good, it looks good, I'm gonna buy it. So not this past trip I went, I think I talked about it, but the one before, I grabbed this book and my other book that I've already read, and I ended up giving it 2 stars on Goodreads. The plot twist was not there. I feel like the author was just dragging it too much without having anything interesting happen. I mean, I don't know if that's the premise of the book, but I feel like the main character, Jules, I forget her name for a second, Jules was literally trying to find this missing girl from the apartment the entire book. And the little clues and whatnot just wasn't adding up to me. I wasn't intrigued by it. I don't know, it kind of sucks. I was disappointed. But he has another book that, something about Across the Lake or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it. I do want to read. That one does sound good, and hopefully it will be better than this one. But I wasn't really into it. I didn't really like it. I think I talked about the summary also about this book earlier in my vlog. But yeah, just know that I gave it 2 stars. Wasn't very into it. But that same night I started listening to the audiobook on the treadmill for my cardio, because I do 30 minutes of walking on an incline for cardio at the gym right after my lift. And I started listening to it just to kind of help me get into it, just because this is not really something I would pick up and would read, but my coworker, or a friend from work literally let me borrow it, so I feel like I need to read it now before I start reading any of my other books and try to finish it so I can give it back to her. Although she said that she read it already. But I started reading it, and then I read a little bit of it at work yesterday. I didn't read much because then I started getting busy. I had discharges and then admissions, and then got busy towards the end. But I am on page 27, I believe. Yes, page 27. Not too far to get into it. I know we're supposed to hate the character, and I can see how she's very narcissist. I don't know if that's the word, but she's very, I feel like narcissist is just how I could explain it. I don't know how else. But I got to a scene where she was at Target with her kids, and she saw one of her old, I can't remember, if it was a high school friend or someone she knew from, I guess, back when she was younger. And all she could talk about is how jealous this girl was about her life, her kids, and whatnot. And that's all she kept saying. Like, she's just jealous. I want her to be jealous of me. I know that. And she just was like, I'm just a better mother and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I was kind of mind-blown. Like, I knew what I was kind of getting into, but it's kind of, reading it for yourself, it's kind of crazy. So I hope I like it, but I do want to read. Today is supposed to be a slow day. It's Friday, like I said. I want to give myself a me day. I don't have to run any errands, thank goodness. I don't have to go out. I'm a soccer fan, so there is a soccer game today at 3, I believe, with the World Cup going on, obviously. Let's look. Yeah, Spain, which I definitely do want to watch Spain play. Spain is playing at 3, and then I also have to make my food. So I have some time to read. It's like 12:25 now, and that's all I have to do today, basically. I'm just gonna watch the soccer game, and then of course hit the gym. I normally go to the gym at 7 though, 7 till it closes, which today closes at 9. And that's it. So I am going to make myself a nice coffee because I did not make that. An iced coffee has been my hyperfixation of the morning. I've been loving, which is kind of crazy. If you were to ask me about iced coffee maybe a few months ago, I'd be like, ew, I don't like coffee. Like, matcha is my thing. I love matcha. Same thing with energy drinks. I have been like changing, my taste buds have been changing, or something has been changing, I don't know. But I'm not complaining because now I am very picky with my coffee. I have tried Dunkin' coffee. Was not a fan of it. It's too sweet. I don't like my coffee too sweet, number 1 is what I found out. I don't like my coffee too sweet, and I tried it from Dunkin', and I think maybe it was the way I ordered it. I didn't really like it, but it also did give me the shits, so yeah. And then I tried a Starbucks drink. I wasn't really a fan of it. I made it my way, and I'm obsessed with it, so now I just make my own iced coffee the way I like it. And then my matcha, of course, I love my matcha from Starbucks. I still want to learn how to make myself my own matcha. But I still am a matcha girly, love my matcha. I just been liking iced coffee a lot lately. But we're gonna make an iced coffee, and then we will start reading, or getting back into Yesteryear, and see how far we can get into this book today. I might also go between the audiobook and the physical copy, depending on my mood. There's like 365 pages. No, JK. 391. I know you guys just saw my face. I just finished reading. I'm about to start chapter 2. The last sentence of chapter 1. That's crazy. So what I was reading before was, I guess, like the prologue. It doesn't say it's a prologue, but it looks like it. And then once that's done, it goes into part 2, which is the present. And this is basically where she gets transported back to 1855, I think it is, or 1850? 1855, or like the 1800s. Oh my gosh. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. So she basically gets transported back to the 1800s. And like she has her family still, like her house and everything, but it's like altered, it's different. So like her kids are the same, but they're not. Her husband is like the same, but it's not really him. Her house is the same, but it's kind of different back to, I guess, how it was in the 1800s, and everyone's dressed differently, I'm guessing. And so she like is like spooked out. She's like, she thinks she's kidnapped. She tries to run away. She trips. And then her husband's like basically tell her like, Natalie, get back inside the house, you're gonna get sick, blah blah blah. And then she falls, he picks her up, and she goes, fuck you, I snarl. The first time I've ever said that phrase out loud in my life. The man wipes his face with the back of his sleeve, because before she said that, I forgot to say, she spits on his face and then says like, fuck you. Then he says, a good wife doesn't speak to her husband that way. He rears back and slaps me so hard the whole world turns black. That's insane. I don't think that's a spoiler. It's literally right in the beginning. This is gonna be crazy. I'm excited. So I'm gonna probably binge this for a bit and then see how far I get. I'll probably talk to you guys back later today. See how far I get into this book and to talk about it maybe a little bit more, but I'm intrigued. I am speechless. We're gonna see how this book goes. This is crazy. Hi friends. Oh, the hair is a mess. What's new? It is Sunday, so happy Sunday. I filmed a little bit of me reading yesteryear. Can't remember what chapter I started. Also, I'm still in my PJs and it is not morning anymore. It's 1:13, but we had a long night last night, so that's my excuse. Anyways, I read for a little bit yesterday, and then, as you know, I'm keeping up with the World Cup, Argentina fan all the way, and we went to a watch party yesterday. We didn't go home till like 2 something, no, 1:40 something, and then I had to go to bed till like almost 3, so that was that. But I only did a little bit of reading yesterday. Today is Sunday. I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get. There's no games, which is nice, but I have church at 5 because no one wanted to wake up early today, so we're going at 5. I also have to meal prep because I have work Monday and Tuesday, so I have to meal prep my breakfast and lunch and then my pre-workout snack, which that normally takes, so I absolutely hate doing that, but we gotta stick to the meal plan, so there's that. But going back to books, this is how far I'm into yesteryear. I took off the cover. We're on chapter 17. Ouch. How cute. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. I'm hoping to get at least 50% in of this book so I can finish it within the next few days, but we'll see. I do have to go to Walmart to pick up something food-wise for prepping my meals tomorrow, but that's it. Hi friends. So we finished yesteryear. I finished this actually last night around like 1:30 in the morning. I was like 80 some percent in. I think it was like 86% into the book, and I listened to the audiobook during my cardio, which is I walk on the treadmill, I don't know if I've said this before, for 30 minutes, and it got me to like 86% about that time, or about that percentage of the book. So I decided to finish the book when I came back home from the gym. So that's what I did, and I stayed up to 1:30 finishing the book. Overall, I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but it probably more like 4.5, and I didn't want to run it up to 5 stars just because it really wasn't a 5-star for me. I thought it was going to be a 5-star, but then around like 50 to 60% of the book I was just like, okay, let's pick it up. Nothing's happening. I feel like it's kind of the same thing going on. But overall, I did like it. I kind of was left a little confused. Like, I wasn't sure if Natalie had some mental health illness or what. I don't know. I think that's why it's not a 5-star, because I'm still kind of confused about it. And I don't want to spoil it either. So I don't know what I can and what I can't say. But overall, the plot was pretty interesting. I think it was pretty, like, I don't even know if I can say this without like spoiling it. I can't tell if the end was, okay, so if you read the book, you've read the book. I can't tell if the end was basically planned out by Natalie. Like, that's what I'm kind of like going towards. Like, I feel like she had that planned out, and it wasn't just I guess it's not a spoiler, because if we go back and forth between the chapters from like almost the beginning of the book, I guess I could say it. I don't know if that was a psychological issue of hers, and she was like, due to like what happened with, what's her name, was it Shannon? I know that's a spoiler, so I won't say that. So Shannon, so I don't know if because of the whole like situation that happened with Shannon, which I'm not going to spoil, that's why she and her family were like living in the 1800s kind of thing. So I'm still kind of like lost on that part, but I do really like the whole concept of the book. I thought it was pretty interesting, and normally for someone who just reads like romance, I have read romance for so long, and that's all I feel like I can read, but this kind of was like pretty good. It took me a while to read, I'm not gonna lie. It took me like probably over a week, which I wanted to read less, but I don't think it was necessarily because it was bad. It was just more so because of my internship and because work, and then me keeping up with the World Cup in the gym. It's kind of hard to like have a time to like read my book, and when I would read for like 30 minutes to an hour, which is not enough. Normally I would read, like, I read longer if I have time. Or I also doom scroll, so that's also another thing that kind of puts me behind. But I do also want to do another reading vlog on the other books that I did buy earlier in this vlog, so I think I will vlog that, and so that way you guys can see like my opinion and input on it and stuff like that. But that concludes this video. It actually is Friday today, but I finished this book on Thursday, so a day after the 1 week mark, and I didn't read as much as I wanted to. I finished a total of 2 books basically. I gave you my input on Lock Every Door. You didn't really see me read that much of that book. You mostly just saw me finish the audiobook of that. And then I read a little bit with you guys of Yesteryear. So hopefully this vlog comes out good. But it's just hard. And also I started my summer class on Monday, so that's also going to be even more difficult to read, which sucks. But it's okay. I'll figure it out. Because normally when I am doing like, during my free time, I'll normally just read my book. Especially my cardio in 30 minutes. I take those 30 minutes to literally read, because I just walk on the treadmill, and it's like literally perfect time to get my cardio in and read. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog-ish reading vlog. I don't know, it's my first one ever, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!